is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
The scene has been repeated over and over this season. Ranger fans have been treated to a win at Globe Life Park 40 times in 60 games at home. That's the best home record in the American League. The scene here is one of mutual admiration. The players love to play here. Their joy is on display every game. The fans love to be here. Their support is exuberant. The scene tonight is a Game 2 showdown between the league's two best teams, your Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians. It's coming up next from Globe Life Park in Arlington. It is a cloudy, breezy, humid night here at Globe Life Park. The Ranger is trying to build on a 9-0 whitewashing of the Tribe last night. Tonight, it's Game 2 of this 4-game series, your Rangers and the Cleveland Indians. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Grieve and Yoda. Steve Busby, glad you could join us tonight. It's Star Wars weekend, and what else do we have in the booth besides a little help? He's our mentor. Rangers don't need much help. Certainly last night they proved that, a 9-0 whitewashing, and tonight they've tried to make it 2 in a row. A good pitching matchup tonight, Tom. You have the local right-hander, Corey Kluber from Coppell, and the resident left-hander in Martin Perez on the hill.
It's an excellent matchup. 2 years ago, Corey Kluber was the Cy Young Award winner in the American League, and he's pitching like that this year. He's won 13 ball games. He's got the 7th best ERA in the league. He's in the top 5 in most other pitching categories. Since the All-Star break, he's been dominating. Martin Perez at home can match right up with Corey Kluber. He's 7-1 with the best home ERA in the American League. So it boils down to a nice pitchers matchup tonight.
Well, and last night the Rangers very happy to be back home. They broke out for 9 runs. Helped a lot by the newest Ranger, and that would be Carlos Gomez. The first swing he took in a Ranger uniform left the ballpark, a 3-run shot that got the Rangers off on the right foot. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by high-speed internet from AT&T. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the final days of the Ford Freedom Sales event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, a very muggy evening here. Wind coming out of the east, straight in from left field. Rangers getting set on this Star Wars weekend to use the fourth in their favor. Let's head down to check in with Emily Jones.
Well, as we've talked about a lot about the importance of this homestand, this series in particular, considering where these two teams are in the American League. However, Mitch Moreland says the team is trying to approach this as any other game and any other series.
I don't think so. I mean, every night it doesn't matter who we're playing, whether they're, in the race or they're out of it or whatever it may be. They're trying to go out and beat us, and we're trying to go out and beat them. That's kind of the way we look at it. And I mean, we've done well this year and played some good teams. So we're looking forward to the challenge, ready to go.
And the numbers would indicate they look forward to the challenge of playing elite level teams, those that are above 500. The record for this Rangers team, an astronomically good one against good teams, not so good against teams below 500, but considering a look at their schedule the rest of the way, you'll take that any day you can get it, folks.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, very important. Jeff Banish's ball club now, 34 games left to play, and they are just starting to regain a little bit of that offensive swagger that they had, maybe 6-7 weeks ago. And they would love to get that back in play and take that on into the latter stages of this season, into October. Martin Perez gets ready to get it underway, and he does so with a fastball for strike one. Martin Perez, the 25-year-old southpaw, the team-high 27th start of the year. He is 8-9 for the year. Those aren't the important numbers. The important numbers are 7-1 at home. And 267 team or batting average against him. Doesn't count what he has done here. Doesn't discount, I should say, what he has done here. League leading 246 home ERA. Rajai Davis starting things off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis at 262 with the average, 11 home runs, 41 driven in. Indians pretty well hamstrung last night by Cole Hamels. To the right side, Odor, off balance throw, and he got a speedy Rajai Davis for out number 1. And Tom's going to tell you about the rest of the Cleveland lineup.
Well, you just saw the leadoff hitter, Rajai Davis. The next hitter, batting second, is Jason Kipnis. Their fine young shortstop, Francisco Lindor, bats third. Ex-Ranger, Mike Napoli, 10th in the league with 29 home runs, is the cleanup hitter. Carlos Santana is the DH. Jose Ramirez is at third. Brandon Geyer in left field. Abraham Almonte gets the start tonight, batting 8th in right field, and the catcher is Roberto Perez.
Well, Martin Perez got a nice play behind him by Rougned Odor, a ground ball. No doubt that that's a good signal for Martin Perez. Jason Kipnis trying to check his swing and couldn't. It is strike one. Kipnis a 284 average for the year. 20 home runs, 67 driven in. And he has reverse splits, you would say, for a hitter. He hits better against left-handed pitching as far as the average is concerned than he does against right-handers. Sometimes that's a little hard to figure out why that happens. 292 average against left-handed pitching for Kipnis, 280 for against right-handers. He chops that pitch foul. So Martin Perez taking a page out of Cole Hamels' book last night. Ahead of the count for the first 2 hitters, and very emphatically so. Cole Hamels last night, a masterpiece. 2 hits of shutout ball through 8 innings. And he had the Indians eating out of his hand from the get-go. 1-2 pitch. Got him on the fist. That little pop-up. And Martin Perez is going to have to take it because it wasn't hit high enough for anybody else to get there.
That's one you see about once or twice a year. That got as far in on the fist as you can possibly get a ball. And that was the result.
Now 2 outs. Let's take a look at the rest of the Ranger defense. Brought to you tonight by Chicken Express. Same as last night, Carlos Gomez in lefty and Desmond in center. Nomar Mazara in right. Moreland and Odor, you can see them on the right side of the infield. Andrus and Beltre on the left. Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. And Martin Perez with 2 quick outs going to work against Francisco Lindor. Goes strike 1. There's the line on Cole Hamels last night. No walks, 8 punch-outs. And if you go back to May in the game that he pitched against the Detroit Tigers, that was every bit as dominating last night as the 7 innings of 1-hit shutout ball that he threw against the Tigers. Same kind of approach for Cole Hamels. He had command of 3 different pitches on both sides of the plate. You could probably count on one hand the number of times he threw a ball in the middle of the strike zone. 0-2 pitch. This guy to pretty deep center field, but Desmond has a bead drawn on this one. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 frame for Martin Perez. So the Indians gone in order. We played a half inning at Globe Life Park. Indians nothing. Rangers coming up. Going to tell you now about the Southwest Airlines Rangers batting order.
Looks a lot like last night's Ranger lineup. Nomar Mazara again gets a shot at the leadoff spot. Ian Desmond is batting second. Carlos Beltran will DH. Adrian Beltre tied for 9th now with 83 RBIs in the American League is cleanup. Rougned Odor is at second. Jonathan Lucroy is catching. Mitch Moreland is at first. Carlos Gomez trying to duplicate last night's game with a 3-run homer. Will bat 8th in left field, and Elvis Andrus bats 9th. He's the shortstop.
And that lineup will face the 30-year-old right-hander Corey Kluber. Kluber went to high school at Coppell here in North Texas and throws the first pitch of the ball game to Nomar Mazara for strike 1. Kluber, a heavy sinking fastball and a power breaking ball with a very good changeup. He just has good command of the strike zone. A quality pitcher, probably throwing as well as anybody in baseball right now. He has won 4 straight. Ranger hitters will try and make him get the ball up a bit in the strike zone, but that's not a sure thing. Even when you get him to do that, you'll be able to handle it. He has the ability to pitch to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with equal effectiveness. 0-2 to Mazara. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nomar had a base hit in 4 trips last night, batting at .280, 15 home runs, 49 driven in. That on-base percentage at .333, just a few ticks higher against right-handed pitching. Tried to check his swing there and did, and that evens the count at 2-2. Mazara able to get on base a couple of times last night with the single and also had a walk. On base 2 out of 5 times, and that's what Jeff Bannister was hoping that he would get from Mazara at the top of that order. Inside, 3-2. So Nomar trying to start off this first inning by getting aboard. Ian Desmond, the Rangers center fielder is next. Kluber doesn't typically walk a lot of people, not quite as proficient as last night started. The ground ball off his glove, and that's going to be a base hit. Kluber had no idea where it went after tipped off the end of his glove, and it stopped about halfway between the mound and second base, and Nomar has a leadoff single.
Well, Nomar did a nice job in the leadoff role. Saw a lot of pitches. Looked like he might have grounded back to the mound, but instead the ball caromed off the glove, and it probably goes a base hit. A pretty easy play for Kluber. He just got the glove on it, couldn't squeeze it.
So Mazzara at first. Ian Desmond steps in, hitting at .290, and had a base hit and an RBI in last night's game. 0-1. Desmond has had a couple of games against Kluber in the past. He is just 1 for 6. Ian's numbers overall, the on-base percentage just below .340. He has been very proficient, though, in hitting in that number 2 spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. Desmond base hits in 13 of his last 15 ball games. So he's starting to turn things around. We were talking about Ranger offense starting to get back a little bit of that swagger they had a couple of months ago. And Ian Desmond right in the middle of that resurgence. There's that power breaking ball. 1-2. Corey Kluber, the 2014 American League Cy Young Award winner, went 18-9 that year.
That was his first full season in the big leagues, too.
Kluber a check of first. A little bit low. Desmond able to lay off that one. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Desmond doing a little planning as he steps back into the batter's box. Mazzara a modest lead at first. Kluber checks him. Call, strike 3. That one a perfectly placed fastball, that sinker, running back to the corner for out number 1.
He's been right around the plate on every pitch in that at bat. Didn't get the call on a couple of them, but that one came back and just nicked the lower outside corner. A nice movement on that fastball, sinking fastball, 92, 93 miles an hour. Good command with that, and that hard breaking ball makes him tough. Been dominating since the All-Star break.
Now this year, Kluber 4th in the American League in strikeouts. That was his 172nd of the year. Now Carlos Beltran. Carlos, a well-documented 0 for 28 at the moment. He has had no success against Kluber in 6 at-bats. Carlos has taken an 0 for there. It is defensively going to an overshift with Beltran at the plate. Hit pretty well to left field. Geyer, though, backpedaling, has room. Out number 2, back to first goes Mazzara, and Adrian Beltre will be next. Take a look at the rest of the Indian defense. You saw Brandon Geyer in left, Rajai Davis in center, and Abraham Almonte in right. Napoli, Kipnis, Lindor, and Ramirez around the infield, with Roberto Perez again behind the plate for Corey Kluber. Beltre stepping in with a .288 average. He is the team leader with 83 RBI. He has 22 home runs, and he has been sizzling. You can figure about every year the calendar turns August and Adrian gets his hitting shoes on. Beltre in this month of August, 18 RBI in the 22 games. That's 9th in the American League for the month. Also hitting .326. 1 ball, no strikes. Now 2-0. Well, Beltre, one of the few Rangers that has done reasonably well against Corey Kluber. Adrian 3 for 9. And our TXU Energy power player to watch tonight, Adrian Beltre. The numbers against the Indians, a .381 mark during his 11-game hitting streak. That is an active 11-game hitting streak.
Well, Kluber didn't get off to a great start this year. After 11 starts, he was 4-6 with his ERA over 4. But obviously, since that time, he's been very good. 9-2 with a .234 in his last 14 starts. Rangers faced him earlier in the year and had a pretty good game against him. 6 runs against him, but he wasn't probably quite the same pitcher then that he has been recently. So this will be a good challenge tonight.
That game was on the last day of May up at Progressive Field. Rangers ended up winning that ball game 7-3. 3-1 pitch, and that just nibbles on the outside corner.
He's going out of his way, no matter what the count, to keep that ball away from the good part of the zone. 3-1 pitch, and he's not trying to throw that ball for a good strike to hit. He's trying to throw it right where he did.
Yeah.
That's the kind of command that he's got.
So full count now with 2 outs. Nomar Mazara will get a running start at first. Beltre trying to extend this first inning. He'll be followed by Rougned Odor. Kluber, the 3-2 pitch. Outside, he lost it. Oh, 2 aboard with Odor coming up.
And fifth, the second baseman, number 12.
That's only the 43rd walk for Corey Kluber this year in 170 innings. Not quite as proficient as Josh Tomlin last night started for the Indians, but still about a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Odor clocked his 24th home run of the year last night, a line drive that almost took the hands off 2 people above the Ranger bullpen. Rougned now 63 RBI and a .273 average. Breaking ball a little bit high. We'll take you back to that 8th inning last night. Zach McAllister and Rougned Odor didn't even bother. Put his head down and took off. That was a screaming line drive that got out of here. Now he's up there with Mazara at second, Beltre at first. The left field, Geyer makes the catch. That'll do it. Rangers get a hit and a walk, but Strand 2. We played 1 inning at Globe Life Park. Rangers nothing, Indians nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Martin Perez back out to the hill to start the second inning against the Tribe. He'll face the middle third of the Cleveland batting order: Mike Napoli, Carlos Santana, and Jose Ramirez. Mike Napoli, a .257 average. Team high 29 home runs, 87 RBI. Napoli having a real solid year. 3 for 4 in his career against Martin Perez. Slowly hit down to Beltry, who charges. Plenty of time, and Napoli is out number 1 here in the second inning. And Carlos Santana will be next, but first, we're going to welcome in Jim Knox.
All right, Buzz, appreciate it. It is Star Wars weekend here at Globe Life Park. Some of the Ranger fans taking in the big Star Wars spirit, like this guy right here. Where are you from?
Originally from the planet Endor.
Endor, no, really, really, where are you from?
Originally from Bridgeport, Texas.
All right, well, good to have you guys here. Love the helmet. Great to have you here. Root on those Rangers, all right?
Let's go Rangers!
All right, there we go.
Planet Endor. And there's Chuck Morgan all dressed up. Oh, sorry, that's Yoda. Chuck's on the left there. I didn't know Chuck brought in help to. I thought he did it all by himself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing him tonight.
One ball and 1 strike to Santana. And Martin Perez nailing down the outside corner. 1-2. Boy, unless somebody's put it in play, the first 5 hitters, Martin Perez has had a 1-2 count on 4 of them. And he gets the strikeout there of Santana.
Yeah, that was a fastball, too. He was hitting the right part of the plate to get ahead in the count, and then threw him another nice tailing fastball, sinking fastball. Down and away. Watch Lucroy's glove, and there's the ball right where he wanted it, and there's a swing and a miss. Nice movement on that pitch. Almost looked like a changeup the way he swung at it, but it was 91 miles an hour.
Here's Jose Ramirez. He takes a pitch up under his hands for ball 1. Ramirez, a .305 average. He has 10 home runs, 57 driven in. Up the middle, that's going to find its way into center field for a base hit. Jose Ramirez gets the first hit of the night against Martin Perez. He is aboard with 2 outs. And Brandon Geyer coming up.
Hey, Buzz and Tom, I'm looking forward on this Star Wars weekend to you two hipsters filling me in on this whole Star Wars thing.
Well, good luck with that.
Because I've never seen Star Wars, so I don't really understand it. But I thought you two were in the know and all this stuff.
That's the first time anyone has ever called me a hipster. I'm not sure about Buzz. So
I thought
it's going to take me a while to get over that before I can start thinking about Star Wars.
I thought you reacted pretty well to it, Tom.
Yeah.
That was
shock and awe.
That's exactly what I was going for. Carry on, boys.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Em. Well, Emily, are you serious? You have not seen Star Wars?
I have not.
We have to assign you some homework.
I may have seen it at a young enough age that I don't remember. I don't remember seeing the movies. I remember things from them that people have forced upon me, but I don't remember seeing the movies.
Well, that's okay.
Or knowing any of the lingo.
That doesn't make you a bad person.
That whole Calrissian thing, it's beyond me. It's hard enough to say it, that whole bobblehead.
That Landris Calrissian?
Yes, you've got it down, Buzz. Quite the hipster.
Yeah, I've had to read it enough. Line drive to left. Gomez coming on. Carlos able to make the catch shoulder high. And that'll do it. Oh, a 2-out single to Ramirez. No damage. 1 left aboard. After 1.5, we are scoreless in Arlington. The Rangers and the Indians. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the final days of the Ford Freedom Sales event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Now, Rangers coming about here in the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless ball game. Jonathan Lucroy leading things off. And Corey Kluber misses outside for ball one. Lucroy, .238 the average in a Ranger uniform. 7 home runs, 14 RBI. Just under a month now with his new club. 1-1. Overall, the combination of the stats from the Rangers and Milwaukee, a .289 average. 20 home runs, that's a new career high for Jonathan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lucroy 1 for 3 in last night's ball game. Also had a walk and scored a run. Now he got off to that terrific start. You remember, seemed like every time he turned around, he was hitting a home run. There's a base hit to right field. Now, Kluber threw him a couple of pretty good breaking balls. Decided to sneak a fastball by him, and Jonathan Lucroy said, not this time.
It's not the first time we've seen Jonathan do that. Throw a high fastball, not intentionally. I think he was trying to throw it down and away. Maybe that one that starts out outside comes back and flips the low outside corner like the one to Desmond. But that one was up in the strike zone. Jonathan said, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Lined it right into center field.
Well, the scouting report on Lucroy, we had not seen a lot of him before he came over from Milwaukee, was that he was a pretty good offensive player for a catcher. Well, I think he's a pretty good offensive player for no matter what position he's playing.
I would go along with that.
Mitch Moreland taking high for ball one. Mitch brings a 4-game hitting streak into play tonight. Average at .254 overall, 21 home runs, and 51 RBI. Is 1 for 5 in previous matchups against Kluber. An extreme overshift employed against him by the Indians. And, that cut fastball swung on and missed. That's about as much of an overshift as you're going to see. The third baseman, Ramirez, shading up the middle as if he were a shortstop shading that way. You've got 85 feet on the left side between Ramirez and the third baseline. If Kluber throws a couple more pitches out there, Mitch is going to exploit that. He has the ability to play pepper with the non-existent third baseman. The only person on that side of the diamond that would have a chance at it would be Brian O'Nora, the third base umpire. 2-1 the count. Pop foul. That's going to be back into the seats. And it evens the count at 2-2. Mitch, during his 4-game hitting streak, has gone 4 for 11 at .364 average. Had a great month of July. Has stayed on the warm side of things, but not quite as hot as he was the latter part of July. He was the player of the week in the American League the last week of the month of July. Still 2-2. Since the 26th of last month, 27 ball games, a .342 average with 8 home runs and 14 driven in for Mitch. And that's, you know, Mitch has been hitting 7th, 8th, sometimes 6th in the lineup. You get a guy with that kind of hot bat going at the bottom of the lineup, you've got a chance to have a real good, productive lineup. He got caught there looking at that comeback fastball as Kluber gets his second strikeout tonight.
Yeah, you get a good look early in the game on why he has so many strikeouts. Watch the movement on this pitch. It looks like it's way inside, and it comes back and catches the corner. That's worked to a left-hand hitter. It also worked to Ian Desmond, a right-hand hitter. Same thing. Came back and got the corner. And although he hasn't had a strikeout with it tonight, he probably will before the game's over. That hard breaking ball he throws is a pretty good strikeout pitch itself.
Yeah.
It all adds up to 173 strikeouts, 4th in the league. More than a strikeout per inning.
A one away. Here's Carlos Gomez. Gomez last night in his Ranger debut went 1 for 4. That won a 3-run home run in his first at bat. Overall, that was Carlos' 6th home run of the year, counting the time that he spent with Houston. The Elias Stats Bureau dug up a very interesting stat. Pitch foul back. Carlos just the 3rd player in the Washington, Texas franchise to have a home run with 3 or more runs, and there was 2 or more runners on base in his team debut. It's only happened 2 other times. Brad Ollier did it with the Senators back in 1965, and Ted Ford, old teammate of yours.
He sure was.
1972.
Ted Ford led the Rangers in home runs in 1972 with 14. That was not a power-laden lineup.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lineup that hit for much of an average either. Didn't have a lot of speed either, if I remember right. Let's put it this way. Guys were offering to pitch on 2 days rest when they played the Rangers in 1972.
Carlos able to check his swing. Leaned on that breaking ball. Take you back to last night. 2nd pitch that he'd seen. First swing that he took in a Ranger uniform. Carlos Gomez, you talk about making a good first impression. How about that? Taps that one foul. The count evens now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gomez with the Milwaukee Brewers a few years ago. Back-to-back seasons of being an all-star. 2013 and 14. Also won the Gold Glove in 2013 for outfield excellence. A center fielder by trade. 2-2 pitch from Kluber. Full count. Tell you one thing, Rangers have made Kluber work a little bit.
They have. His 37th pitch coming up.
Yeah. Gomez, the 8th hitter, trying to get aboard to join Lucroy. Elvis Andrus is next. The birthday boy was turning 28 years of age today. Kluber set. Lucroy a modest lead at first. He's on the move. Payoff pitch is fouled away. Jonathan retracing his steps. We will try it one more time. Lucroy in motion, and Gomez doing what he had to do. You rely on the hitter in that situation to make contact if it's a strike. No, we are reset now, and Kluber is ready to go. Again on the move. Pitch is lofted into shallow center. Coming on, Davis makes the catch. The throw back behind Lucroy, not nearly in time. Jonathan able to get back. There are 2 outs now, and Elvis coming up.
Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 1, Elvis Andrus.
Elvis stepped into the plate. Happy 28th birthday, young man. Hard to believe he's 28. Seems like yesterday that he came to the big leagues as a 19-year-old. .296 average, and ever since he walked onto a big league field when he's faced Cleveland, he's done something pretty spectacular. He's hit 52 of the 54 games that he's played against the Indians throughout his career. Hard hit, but right there Ramirez. They'll go the short way for the force, and that'll do it. Rangers get a leadoff single, but strand their 3rd runner of the night. We have finished 2 innings at Globe Life Park. Rangers nothing, Indians nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. all weekend long at the ballpark. Tomorrow, the first 15,000 fans will receive an Elvis Landrews Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead. That's courtesy of Takis. You don't have to smuggle your way across the galaxy in order to pick up one of the coolest bobbleheads of the year. Purchase your tickets at TexasRangers.com to see the Rangers take on the Indians and take home this special collectible. Abraham Almonte will start things off for the Indians here in the third. Almonte, Perez, and then Rajai Davis. Indians with one hit. Martin Perez with the first pitch. And that is strike one. Now, we talked last time that we saw Martin Perez down in Tampa. It looked kind of out of sorts. And as much as he looked out of sorts then, he looks back in rhythm now. He is right back to Martin Perez we have seen in this ballpark in particular this year. 7-1 at home this year with a 2.36 ERA. And this is the third time that he has worked with Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. Broken bat, and Elvis comes up throwing. One gone. Well, before Roberto Perez sent it over to Dale Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Dana, thank you. Well, how about Sanchez? I'm kind of glad we haven't have to play the Yankees tonight.
Yeah, I think I read where he's only the Yankees' 5th best prospect. Those first 4 must be pretty good.
No kidding. Now, Roberto Perez struggling at the plate, just a 104 average. He is 8 for 77. A home run, 5 driven in. He's been battling a thumb injury that sidelined him for the better part of 3 months. Down on the count very quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. One and 2. Now Martin just 28 pitches to this point. 21 strikes, 7 balls. That is pretty good work for the young man.
About the same percentage Cole had going for him last night.
Yeah. 1-2 pitch. Up the middle. Off the glove of Odor into center field.
Well, he would have had a chance for the same play he made yesterday. Backhanded up the middle and turn and throw to first. Almost got it. Might have had an easier time because he would have had Perez running instead.
Couldn't quite get all the leather on that. Just off the tip. No, the second base hit for the Tribe. A 1-out single puts Perez aboard and sends him back to the top of the order for Rajai Davis. Rajai Davis out on a nice play by Odor to start things off tonight. It's jammed on that first one and pops it up. Moreland, looks like he has room. 2 gone. Oh, a 1-pitch pop out. That's the kind you like to see with Davis up there. Now Perez will have to face Jason Kipnis.
That's a good pitch. He ran it inside part of the plate. Unusual looking swing by Davis. Tried to inside out it. Nice follow through. But came up empty on that one.
Yeah, through the first almost 3 innings now, you could probably say the same thing about Martin Perez we did about Cole Hamels. Not many balls in the middle of the strike zone. He has been working to the edges and working effectively. 1 ball to Kipnis. Kipnis got jammed badly his first time up. Hit a little pop-up that was so low that the only one to make a play on it was Martin Perez, and he did. With the breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the first time that Martin Perez has faced Cleveland since back in the 2013 season. Just a little more than 3 full years ago. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This just his 2nd start, his 3rd outing. Coming in tonight, though, Martin had only worked 3 innings total against the Tribe. The 1-2 coming to Kipnis. Down the 3rd baseline, a fair ball. That's going to be trouble. Gomez over to get it off the sidewall, and it gets by him. So around 3rd comes Perez. There will be no throw, and the Indians have an early 1-0 lead.
That's about the only way that you could score Perez from first base, is to hit a ball like that. Right down the line, rolled into the corner slowly enough to where it didn't carry him back to Gomez. There wasn't much he could do.
Now batting the shortstop, Francisco Lindor.
There's a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Kipnis just kind of slaps it. It hugs the line and rolls slowly and just gets caught right in the corner.
So the Indians put a couple of hits together here in the 3rd, take a 1-0 lead. Kipnis out at 2nd, having driven in his 68th run of the year. Brings up Francisco Lindor. Lindor flied to center field back in the 1st. And Kipnis expanding his lead at 2nd base. 0-2. Lindor, the switch hitter, having another spectacular year. Last year, of course, a great rookie season. Reached base safely in 20 of his last 21 games. Lucroy flashed the signs out. Now Perez ready. Out of play. Martin Perez staring in for the signs. Now the left-hander is set. A couple of looks back at Kipnis. Fouled away. Lindor, being a switch hitter, but the averages are pretty much the same against left-handers or right-handers. As a right-handed hitter against left-handed pitching, he's a .319 batter. Against right-handed pitching, .308. So he's equally proficient. Another 0-2 pitch. 1-2. Martin trying to put a cap on this inning, not let it get any further along. Giving up a run on a couple of hits. To right field, Mazzara back and toward the corner. That will do it. A 2-out double by Jason Kipnis gets a run across, a run on 2 hits. After 2.5, the Indians won, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest.
Life Park in Arlington, and it is a special night here at Globe Life Park because it is UTA night honoring the Mavericks. And here now is the president of UTA, Dr. Kabari, and we're talking about the start of a school year, the continuation of a season, and a great relationship between you and the Texas Rangers.
Absolutely. What better way to start the school year than to have about 2,500 of our students, alums, and friends with one of the other icons of Arlington. It's just a beautiful evening. Great place to be.
Seemed to be good luck already. Nomar Mazara with a base hit there. Always exciting things going on at UTA. Tell us about some of those that are going on this year.
Absolutely. We've had a fabulous year already. We were named one of the 115 elite universities, or R1 universities in the U.S. We have programs in every school and college named amongst the top in the nation by U.S. News. We have the College of Nursing and Health Innovation, which is a center of excellence by the National League for Nursing. We'll start the semester at about 41,000 students, and that's not counting the online students outside the state of Texas. That makes us one of the largest in the state of Texas. We'll be graduating about 11,500 students right now. That makes us a very, very big university and one of the best in the state of Texas. We're starting with a lot of new construction. There's a new Science and Engineering Innovation building coming up, a new residence hall, a new dining facility, and all our programs are growing. We've just completed hiring about 60 new faculty, which is probably one of the largest in the United States in one cohort. So it's just a very exciting time to be at UTA.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and we're always thankful for a great partnership with you guys, of course, just right down the street. So congratulations to you guys on the start of a great school year.
Well, thank you very much, and it's a great partnership having us both together.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Dr. Kabari. We appreciate your time. Buzz, Tom, we'll send it back now to you.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. Well, Nomar Mazara, as you saw, leading the inning off with a single, and now Ian Desmond taking the third pitch wide. It's 2 balls and a strike. And the moving Mav, UTA mascot, right there with Blaze. Jay Stigler. 2-1 to Desmond. Ramirez to Kipnis and back to Napoli. Around the horn go the Indians. 5-4-3, and the double play makes it 2 outs and nobody on for Carlos Beltran.
Now hoping for one of those balls. We've seen a couple of them that hit in front of the plate and bounce right over the infielder's head. Ian hit this one hard, but didn't get that kind of a bounce. It turned into an easy play for Ramirez to make. Hard hit ball right at him on a nice bounce.
Now here's Beltran, who flied out to left field his first time at the plate. A changeup that floated a little bit wide for ball 1. Kluber back to him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos trying to right the ship, get out of this 0 for 29 that he's suffering through. 1-2. Previous longest drought that he had ever had was 16 years ago, back in May of 2000, when he was a member of the Kansas City Royals. Took an 0 for 24. 2-2. In between, though, he's done some damage in the 16 years in between.
I'll say.
45th all time with 1,516 RBIs. That's 3rd most among switch hitters. Got him swinging.
Oh, that's a great slider.
Tough breaking ball right there. Kluber gets his 3rd strikeout. Rangers had a hit, but the double play took care of it. We have finished 3 in Arlington. The Indians leading the Rangers 1-0. And now let's go to Aaron Hardigan in a Roots to Go lounge. Weekend out here at Globe Life Park. On Sunday, the Rangers take on the Indians at a 2:05 game, and the first 15,000 fans will take home a Texas Rangers Star Wars poster. That's compliments of Takis. Purchase your tickets at texasrangers.com, and may the force be with you. Mike Napoli leading off for the Indians here in the fourth inning. Napoli, Santana, and Ramirez. Indians leading 1-0. The hits are even at 3 tonight. Napoli grounded out to Beltre his first time up. And Martin Perez dropping in a pretty good curveball. Napoli didn't think so, but he's still down on the count, 0-2. Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire, the one that did think that was a strike.
He's probably the one that counts.
Yeah. Tried a third breaking ball. Napoli would lay off it. 1-2. Great night out here at Globe Life Park. Had some rain in the area earlier. You see the very high veil of clouds. Sunset peeking in between the layers of clouds. Out of play to the right. Still 1-2 to Napoli. Martin Perez tonight, 44 pitches, 34 of them have been strikes, just 10 balls. He hung that breaking ball, and Napoli spanked it into left field for a leadoff single. No one on, nobody out for Carlos Santana.
Yeah, Napoli a little bit out in front of that, fortunately. That was kind of right in the area where you have to watch out with a guy that has his kind of power. 29 home runs this year. What a year Nap's had. Last 40 games hitting over 300 with 12 home runs and 30 knocked in.
Santana ripped one to right center field. Desmond on the run, can't get there. It's off the wall. He gets it back in quickly. So Napoli will be held to third, into second with a ringing double. Carlos Santana. Well, Santana blistering the second extra base hit of the night for the Indians.
That ball looks like it cuts back over the middle of the plate. And he took advantage of that. Nice play by Desmond in center field. Played it off the wall and got it in very quickly. With nobody out, Indians are not going to risk a man being thrown out at the plate. But there's a great look at Ian in an athletic move to get that ball in quickly.
Well, the Indians now with a single and a double to open up the fourth inning. Have runners at second and third and nobody out. Rangers playing the infield back. You see straight away at every position. Jose Ramirez had the first hit of the night for the Indians back in the second. Well located fastball for strike one. Well, Ramirez a 306 average, a switch hitting third baseman. Perez working from the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch. Outside the bag. It's now 0-2. Ramirez against left-handed pitchers this year, 304. His average against right-handers, 304. Now Martin set once again. Broken bat roller. That's going to get the run home. Elvis's play is to first. Napoli scores. On to third goes Santana. The RBI to Ramirez, and the Indians take a 2-0 lead.
That ball was hit so slowly that it's hit to the left side, and the man at second was easily advancing to third base. Nothing the Rangers could do about that. Nice pitch, got him in on the hands, but turned out to be an effective ground ball for the Indians.
once that ball got by the mound, there wasn't a darn thing you could do about it.
Yep, to Elvis's left, it was over.
So with one out now and Santana at third, the Rangers will pull the infield all the way in. Brandon Guyer is the hitter. Slowly hit Elvis. He's coming to the plate. The tag, and they got it. Now playing in, Elvis didn't have to go side to side at all, even though the throw wasn't perfect. It was there in plenty of time to get the sliding Carlos Santana.
Indians are going to check on that one. It was fairly close play at the plate. Get a better look at it right here. Good jump by Santana. It's probably not going to go too far.
Almost knocked his helmet off with that tag. Wham. No, Terry Francona saying he wants to have him take a look at it. Yeah, a little confusion. It looked like Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire, had thought Terry Francona said, no, go ahead. And they were going to go back to play, but
they must have seen a different angle than we saw.
Yeah.
Either that or we saw it wrong. It looked like he tagged him noticeably before he got to the plate. Let's take a look. Tag was, I don't think that can be overturned.
If you look at here's the angle that'll show you, I believe. Yeah, the tag's right there in the hand.
And then the hand touches it.
Yeah. And even from the other angle, from the other side of that, yeah, there you go. Pretty evident that that play was called correctly at the plate. Ford Indians challenge. And Ford showing you that it's the correct call.
Terry got a little smirk on his face. He must have been thinking, what the heck? Maybe they'll look at it differently.
So that cuts down what may prove to be a big run. Still a 2-0 Indian lead. 2 outs now. Abraham Almonte is at the plate with Guyer at first base. Almonte, a ground ball to short, his first time up there. Left field, Gomez on the run. It's up the alley. One hop and off the wall. Guyer steaming around third. Odor's throw is not in time. It's cut off. And the second double of the inning plates Brandon Guyer as Almonte drives home his 10th run of the year. It is 3-0 Cleveland.
That's the second time this inning that the Indians have jumped on a first pitch fastball. Santana jumped on one and hit it to right center field. Almonte jumped on one and ripped it into the gap in left center field.
Almonte able to get that ball before it got in on him. Got it out in front of home plate, and that's all the Guyer needed. A guy with pretty good speed able to score easily. So a 3-0 Cleveland lead. Now Roberto Perez up there. Perez had an infield single.
And no more not a first pitch fastball that time,
no.
Although Perez was up there looking for it. He threw him a changeup that time.
Well, Perez with his 9th hit of the year.
And another one.
Bats. He can swing 3 times. I'd figure he'd get one of them.
I'll throw him another one right here.
Yeah. Probably going to get the same swing if you do. Yep,
there it is.
3 changeups, a punch out, and that'll do it. But Cleveland scores twice on 3 hits. They leave 1. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's now Cleveland 3 and Texas 0. 105.3 The Fan present $10 tickets for the Lexus Club Terrace and upper level seating sections for Monday through Wednesday. Plus, you can take 20% off Rangers red merchandise at Globe Life Park retail stores through Wednesday. Pack the park and wear your red as the Rangers battle the Seattle Mariners to defend first place in the American League West. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com using the online coupon code REDOUT. The Rangers now in a 3-0 hole as Adrian Beltre begins things here in the 4th inning. Beltre, Odor, and Lucroy. Rangers have gotten to Corey Kluber for a base hit in each of the first 3 innings, but have not been able to get a runner past second base. Adrian drew a walk in that 1st inning. That's the only free pass that Kluber has issued tonight. 0-2 pitch. Beltre, that .288 average. As Kluber comes back to him. 2-2. Beltre in a Rangers uniform has hit .353 against the Cleveland Indians. Goes back to the start of the 2011 season. We'll try another 2-2 pitch after that foul ball. Now Corey Kluber, the 30-year-old right-hander from Coppell High School. Kubota Power Stats talking about Kluber. 25 games this season, 7th in the American League with that .313 ERA. 3rd in the American League, giving up just a .218 average against him. Beltre, that's a towering pop foul that's going to go over the Indians' dugout into the 3rd row. No, still 2-2. Mentioned Kluber, the second half of this season, since the All-Star break, he has an ERA of 1.89. Adrian staying alive with some foul balls. Now another offering from Kluber. Low and outside, and the count has gone full. So Beltre trying to start off the Ranger 4th by getting aboard. He'll be followed by Rougned Odor. Last night, Adrian Beltre, one of the 2 3-run home runs. This one off Josh Tomlin into the Indians bullpen. Another foul ball.
Kluber's ball has so much movement on it, it's hard to connect.
It's a pretty good combination. A ball that runs in that much on a right hand and then that breaking ball.
Yeah, it is. You got to look at a large part of the strike zone to be able to handle those 2 pitches. And then he's got such good command of both of them, too. He doesn't miss in the middle of the plate very often.
Beltre, another foul ball. This one back to the right side.
Kluber had about 40 pitches after 2 innings, but then he got out of the 3rd inning quickly with the help of a double play. But Adrian's making him work right here. This will be the 11th pitch to Adrian coming up.
Now Kluber with a new baseball. Adrian settling back in. Once again, the 3-2 pitch. Lost him. Well, Beltre wins that drawn out affair.
Well, Rangers have had the leadoff man on all 4 innings. He was kind of shaking his head right there.
Rougned Odor coming to the plate. It kind of reminds us last night. We talked about his home run, but how about the play that kind of got everybody going? Odor sliding into second. Jason Kipnis kind of flopping down and gets up. Now watch it. Whoa, I got to back off away from you. Rougned thought that was great. So the guys on the bench. Of course, in reference to the little set to that Odor had earlier in the season that cost him some time away from the game. Let's go down and check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, guys, and Kipnis talked about it post-game last night and said, you know, I like the way I play hard. He plays hard. He actually had Rugi's uncle as a coach in the minor leagues, and so he's familiar with Rougned, the way he plays. Said it was, of course, all in good fun. I talked to Rugi about it last night, and he was cracking up, dying laughing, and thought it was obviously very funny, as did the guys on the bench. I don't know if I've ever seen Nomar Mazara smile quite that wide. So obviously it went over very well in both dugouts.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Em. I heard the report that Kipnis had kind of referred to it and thought, you know, that's a pretty nice tribute to the guy. You have a little fun with it and still say, hey, I like the way you play. Into center field, that's a base hit. Beltre, advancing to second, had to wait to make sure that ball was going to fall. So a walk and a single, and the Rangers have their first two hitters aboard. And it brings up Jonathan Lucroy.
Really hit that one off the end of the bat. You can see the ball move away from him. And you can see where the ball hits right off the end of the bat. But it deadens the ball and allows it to fall way in front of Rajai Davis in center field. The Rangers hoping for a little rally right here. A couple of men on, nobody out, trying to get back in the game.
Now Lucroy smacked a single to right field his first time up. He was thinking about the same thing right there. That pitch, the same one he hit for a base hit, I believe, that cut fastball that stayed up a bit. Just a tad out in front of it. Infield, maybe a step to the left, in at double play depth. Kipnis and Lindor up the middle. Ramirez a couple steps behind the bag at third. 0-1 the count. That will even things up. Lucroy, the 7 home runs in the month of August. That's 6th in the American League. All since he put on a Ranger uniform for the first time. Way inside, 2 balls and a strike. Beltre out at second, getting his lead. He's trailed by Rougned Odor at first. Pretty solid cutter. 2-2.
Case I hope looking for a fastball, hoping you're going to get a good one to hit. So we're kind of thinking right along with a hitter right there. Went with something other than a fastball to hit.
Roberto Perez flashing the signs out. Now Kluber back to the plate. It's right off the end of the bat. Still 2-2. Oh, with Beltre's at bat in this inning and Lucroy having a fairly long at bat, they've got Kluber up now to 67 pitches with nobody out here in the 4th inning. And that, if you're looking for a little bit of a silver lining, it would appear to be it right now. They can put some runs on the board, that would be even better. Popped up right side. Infield fly rule as Napoli takes care of it. 1 out.
First baseman, Mitch Moreland.
Oh, that'll That'll bring up Mitch Moreland.
Just another example of that good fastball with a good movement. Got it in.
First time that Lucroy was able to get a high cutter going away from him, hit it the other way. Not that time. He didn't have a pitch to work with. Mitch called out on strikes, his first trip to the plate. Moreland, 21 home runs, 51 RBI. This is the third year in Mitch's career go over 20 home runs. This one kind of got down toward the trademark a bit. Almonte makes the catch, and everybody stays put. Two gone.
Had the right swing and the right trajectory, just didn't hit the right part of the bat.
Carlos Gomez coming up. Take a look now at our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. And it's centered around Carlos Gomez. 3-run home run last night. Carlos Gomez, the 7th player to hit a home run in their first at bat as a Ranger. I would venture to say that probably not many of them had done it on the first swing they took. Gomez tonight flied to center his first time up. 2 outs, 2 on for the Rangers. Beltre and Odor, the base runners. Nothing in 1. There you go, Tom. There's Ted Ford. Talked about him. That John Cangelosi back in '92.
John Cangelosi, that might have been the only home run he hit.
Doug Strange. Here's Chris James. Gabe Kapler on opening day. It was the first of 2, I believe, that he had on opening day. Jurickson Profar. Nothing in 2 to Carlos Gomez. Trying to get the Rangers on the scoreboard here in the 4th inning. Kluber okays the sign. Gomez waiting. A ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Gomez with the Astros appeared in 85 ball games. Astros designated him for assignment on the 10th of August. Released him on the 18th, and Rangers signed him the next day. Two balls, 2 strikes.
We got him to swing at a couple of them. He's trying to get him to swing at one out of the strike zone. Carlos becoming a little more discerning right there with the breaking balls. Not easy to lay off him either.
Roberto Perez going to find out from Kluber exactly how he feels about throwing a 3rd consecutive breaking ball. Two on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. Defensively, the Indians a couple of steps around to the left, infield, outfield straight away. Chopper over the mound. Off balance throw by Kipnis. They got it.
Whoa.
And I believe Jeff Anderson is saying, hang on just for a minute. We want to have another look at that. But to the naked eye, it didn't look like Mike Napoli could have caught the ball and had his foot on the bag at the same time. Maybe he did.
Yeah, that's when it always looks like he's off the bag until you see the replay.
I'll be darned, he did.
And he did. Yeah, I would have. When you see it to the naked eye, you swear he's way off the bag. Until you see it, you see how good the umpires are. It's close, but
yeah, it is close.
I don't know if you can overturn it with that.
Shot
be worth a look.
overhead. And they're going to go ahead and have a look at it. Send it back to your replay command center. Maybe this will be a little more definitive for you. Tough to tell. You'd have to put a couple of those angles together, I would think.
Yeah.
So, challenge has been issued. Jeff Bannister suggesting that the umpires get the headsets on. Jeff Kellogg, the first base umpire, and Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire. Or no, it's not Lance, it's Brian O'Nora, the third base umpire, had the headsets on and hooked up to replay command center back in New York. The official back there will take a look at all the angles that are available and render a decision. Again, well, remind you, the call on the play was out at first. And there has to be clear and convincing evidence to the contrary to overturn that call. Ford bringing you this Rangers challenge. Very, very difficult unless you're able to put a couple of angles together, because it's hard to tell from this angle when exactly the ball impacted the back of the glove. You can see where Carlos Gomez's foot is, and he is out. So I would imagine that play would stand. But in any event, the Ranger fourth comes to a close. No runs, a hit and a walk, and 2 men are left. After 4, it's the Indians 3, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Ball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by the all-new 3-row Mazda CX-9, meticulously crafted for driving because driving matters. Well, Martin Perez to work here in the 5th inning. He's facing the top of the order, Rajai Davis. Indians leading 3-0. Davis has grounded out and fouled out. It's this one well to right field. Mazzara going back at the wall, and he makes the catch just before he bangs into the paddock.
Just the right part of the ballpark, a little bit more towards center field, and it might get into the bullpen. Instead, it goes right into the corner. It's probably 8 or 9 feet farther to get it over the fence into that corner. You can see the 377 sign. Like might have had the distance to hit off the wall there. It's hard to tell. In any event, Nomar gets back, catches it right in front of the wall easily.
One rather long out. Now here's Jason Kipnis. The appeal down to Brian O'Nora at third. No swing, says the veteran umpire. Kipnis got the scoring started for the Indians. A 2-out double in the 3rd inning. That put the Tribe ahead 1-0. Hit a pitch away from him, a breaking ball from Martin Perez, and just got it inside the 3rd base bag and down that line. Two balls and a strike. Martin with the next pitch will be at the 60 pitch level. Still a very good strike to ball ratio. 46 strikes and 13 balls. Popped up Beltre. Leaning into the photographer as well. Can't get it. And the count evens at 2-2. Still a little bit of a breeze blowing in from left center field, pushing that ball further out of play. Two balls, two strikes. Gipnis with that double, now hitting at 285. Randy's RBI total is 68 for the year. Hit down the right field line. That is hooking into the corner. It is foul. One hopping into the wedgie. The Indians coming into play tonight, second in the American League in runs scored. They were at 619. Now they're 622.
No, Buzz, we were talking in the pregame show about who the other teams are, the best teams with a chance to win the American League other than the Rangers, and we talked about the Red Sox. You have to talk about Cleveland too.
Yeah.
You know, you just mentioned Cleveland has the second most runs scored, which right now they last 4 games they haven't scored a lot of runs, but they can score runs, and they've got a really good rotation. Their starting rotation is one of the best.
Gipnis drives this one to right. Mazzara back.
And they've got Andrew Miller now late in the ball game, so
right.
they've improved their chances.
Yeah, they were kind of flying under the weight radar for the first month and a half or so.
Yeah.
And once they got going, though, you're right, Tom. They become a very potent team.
You know, they've got 4 starters with ERAs well under 4. Josh Tomlin is the only one that's over 4. He's been struggling in his last 7 or 8 starts. But in the postseason, you don't need 5 starters. You only need 3. And right now, Kluber is as good as anybody. So they've got a good start on it.
Well, Lindor lofts a shallow fly ball to center, and that'll do it. So 3 fly balls, 3 outs in the 5th. We played half the ball game tonight at Globe Life Park. It's the Indians 3, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest.
Rangers trailing the Indians by a score of 3-0 as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington. It is Foundation Friday, and pleased to tell you that for the last 20 years, the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation has been providing scholarships to 6 Arlington High School's juniors in honor of the Richard Green Scholarship Fund. And here to tell us more about it is one of those recipients.
The Richard Green Scholarship basically is what I want to do with my life. It helps with funding my college, and it also gives me the opportunity to do internships that serve my community, and I eventually want to go on to a political career, so that's definitely something I want to do.
So always great things being done by the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, this one in conjunction with the Richard Green Scholarships, guys.
All right, Ann, thank you. The Rangers very prominent in the community. The Ranger Foundation does an awful lot of good things. Now the birthday boy, Elvis Andrus, leading things off. There's the group. Elvis shooting that out of play. Talking about Elvis, his birthday. According to stats, Elvis accumulated 1,233 hits before his 28th birthday. The reason I bring that up because it is his 28th birthday, and it's also the second most in franchise history. The only player that had more hits before he turned 28 was Pudge Rodriguez.
Wow.
Pudge had 1,333, so he had...
Both got to the big leagues at about the same age.
Yep, 19. Pudge had...
Ruben was on his way to doing that, it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruben, I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought he was probably the best 19-year-old tools-wise that I'd ever seen at the big league level.
Yeah, he was right up there, boy. There was nothing on the field he couldn't do.
One-two pitch. Got him on the knuckles, and that's back out of play. Still 1-2. Kluber into the wind. And Elvis shoots one to the right. That will slice back into the crowd. And put it in context now, outside of the Ranger franchise. Active players. I'll give you an example. Elvis had the 4th most hit before 28 of any active players other than Miguel Cabrera, who had 1,417. Albert Pujols had 1,344. And Adrian Beltre at 1,270. Elvis putting this in play to left field. Geyer makes the grab for out number 1. But we don't.
That's pretty good company.
Yeah, we don't think very often of Elvis as just an offensive mode. We always take the shortstop part of him in there too. But offensively, that is pretty good company.
Yep. I'd love to see Elvis stay hot in September and get his average up, have his first 300 season. He's kind of knocking on the door. He's mid-290s right now. I think he felt like he had a pretty good pitch to hit right there. Just got underneath it. First inning, the Rangers haven't had the leadoff hitter on.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll be the key to a big inning. Hasn't helped in the first 4 innings. Whoa, watch out, Nomar.
Nomar Mazara kind of leaning out over the plate a little bit. And Kluber said, hey, you already have 2 hits against me. You're not going to be leaning out there too far. One ball, no strikes. Amazing how a guy can lose control of one, then on the very next one paint the low outside corner.
Tough combination. Fastball up and in, and a changeup down and away.
1-2. Now Nomar with the 2 base hits tonight. Run his average up to 284. His current standing. And he's been on 3 of the 7 times now, or 4 of the 7 times that he has hit as a leadoff hitter. Now, he had never hit leadoff in his life prior to last night.
Oh, he's probably one of those kids that was a big kid when he was little growing up. Probably had great power playing in the youth leagues. You'd have to guess he was a 3rd or 4th place hitter from the time he started putting on a uniform.
It's this one on one big hop out to Kipnis. 2 gone. And before Ian Desmond makes his way to the batter's box, let's send it over to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Dana, thank you. Now here, Corey Kluber has shut out the Rangers on 4 hits. He has 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Ian Desmond has struck out and grounded into a double play. Ian's average at .289 as he faces Kluber. A ball and a strike. Desmond came into play tonight with still the 3rd highest average at home in the American League. It was .345. Ian granted time by Lance Barrett. Now he's back in, ready to go. That one was lined sharply, but foul. Now we'll take a look at our analytics stat of the day for you. How about this? Average against high pitches. And Ian Desmond among the best. .383. DJ LeMahieu, Jose Altuve, the only ones better. Francisco Lindor is 5th on that list at .347. Much as we talk about, I'm surprised that Adrian's not.
Yeah, I would have thought
in the top.
You could just think of all the pitches Adrian's hit that have been up there.
Yeah.
And makes you generalize and say that he must be one of them.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Went up into the club level, and it was still traveling pretty fast when it got up there. Two and 2. And continuing with the idea about the analytics stat we gave you, the hot zones. Ian, very much a T hitter. High all across the plate, and then right down the middle of the plate. You go down and in, down and away, you got a chance. That is called strike 3. That was down and away, and second time that Desmond got caught looking at that pitch tonight. 3 up, 3 down. We finished 5 innings at Globe Life Park. Rangers trailing 3-0.
Park, the Fox Sports Fan Express rolled in right here in the neighborhood. UT Arlington on board. Plenty of UT Arlington students having a good time here. Sam, I guess you guys could have walked here, but the bus ride was nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. We really appreciate the Rangers having us out here. It's a great night for some baseball. Thanks once again. Go Mavs.
There we go. There we go. Go Mavs. Go Rangers. Here we go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Noxie. Mike Napoli leading off for the Indians here in the top of the 6th inning. Napoli singled and scored as he led off the 4th inning. He is 1 out of 2 tonight. Currently batting at .258. 0-2. Martin Perez has been touched for 6 hits this evening. He has struck out a couple, and I think that's 7 hits as Napoli has his 2nd straight base hit. Napoli aboard, and now Carlos Santana. But first, we'd like to tell you that Christian music artist for King and Country will be performing a post-game concert coming up this Sunday, and it's presented by Buckner International. Watch the Rangers take on the Cleveland Indians in a 2:05 game. Then enjoy the concert after the ball game. You can buy tickets for the game or get your field passes for the concert by visiting TexasRangers.com/concerts. Carlos Santana hit a bolt to right center field for a double his last time up. 1 for 2 tonight. He's got Napoli at first. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Two and 0 the count. Santana a 340 or 245 average as he faces Martin Perez. Martin able to get that breaking ball through the back door. 2-1. Santana, you look at his numbers, one of the few Indians that is hitting for a higher average away from Cleveland than he is at home. He's hitting .251 on the road for the Tribe. Just .237 at home. Almost everybody else in the Cleveland batting order is the reverse. As a team, they have hit just 236 on the road and 293 at home. Ball's ripped foul, well back and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Santana trying to get aboard to join Napoli. He'll be followed by the 3rd baseman, Jose Ramirez. Indians leading 3-0. Martin Perez trying to make sure that the score stays right there. Into left field, a base hit. Now Martin got the ground ball that he wanted. Unfortunately, it was directly between Beltre and Andrews. So back-to-back singles opening up the 6th inning. And now Jose Ramirez coming up. And as far as situational hitting goes, Jose Ramirez coming to the plate. Look at his average with runners in scoring position. Overall, he's 3rd with that .381 batting mark. At about 130 points higher than the major league average. He has pretty good numbers up and down those situational charts.
Yeah, I think the thing that shows the kind of hitter he's been this year is hitting over 300 behind an account. He's a good hitter with 2 strikes, way better than the league average with 2 strikes. He's a guy that came into this season with between 500 and 600 at bats in the big leagues, is about a 240 hitter. He only hit 219 for the Indians last year and over 300 at bats. So he's really coming into his own as an offensive player this year. Having a nice season. He has a base hit in this game. RBI. He's hitting over 300. And in August, he's hitting 350.
Approaching 60 RBI for the year. That's
pretty good.
Pretty good.
And he can play a number of different positions too. Valuable guy.
Fastball. Slices the outside corner in half. It's 0-1.
The other thing about him is he's a switch hitter. And he's hitting 304 one way and 305 the other way.
Yeah.
So there's not much of a distinction this year between the two.
Perez okays the sign, a check of the runners.
And you look at the Indians as the team that scored the second most runs in the American League. They don't even have Michael Brantley. He's missed pretty much the whole year. Has to have more surgery. And he's one of the best players in the American League. So they've made up for it without having Michael Brantley. Other guys have chipped in and made them an excellent offensive team. Be even better with him.
A little bit low. The changeup missed. 2 balls and a strike. No, I don't think there's any doubt that signing Mike Napoli and putting him right in the middle of the order has made a huge difference.
Yep. We've seen the kind of difference that can make
yep.
with our own eyes right here with the Rangers.
2-2 on the foul tip. 7 postseason appearances for Mike Napoli, or 7 trips to the postseason for Nap. That's no accident.
Well, Red Sox felt the same way about him.
Yep. It's been 5 games since the Rangers turned to double play, and Martin Perez has had 33 of them turned in his support this year. This would be an ideal time to make that 34. 2 on, nobody out. 2-2 pitch. .33 double plays, already a franchise best. That's 2 more than the old record. And Martin Perez, the most double plays since Dallas Keuchel had 36 back in 2014. Full count. Mario Alvarez, left-hander, loosening in that Ranger bullpen. Alvarez, in case you missed it, called up today with Jeremy Jeffers put on the restricted list. Alvarez able to get out of New Orleans, beating the weather, getting into Dallas in time to get out here. Full count with nobody out. There's a double play grounder. Odor turns it on to Morgan.
Boy, he was flying down the line too. Like a routine double play. Rudy had to put everything he had on that throw to get Ramirez.
A 6-4-3, and there's the double play drought coming to an end.
Another thing Ramirez can do, and you're watching it right there, is he can run.
Yep.
He's stolen 20 bases.
Oh, Napoli on to third, but the double play makes it 2 down for Brandon Guyer. Guyer's reached on a fielder's choice and lined to left field. Take strike 1. I'm talking about Martin Perez and those double plays. Our Ford leaderboard showing you the most turned behind the pitchers this year. Martin Perez with a 10 double play advantage over Mike Pelfrey. R.A. Dickey with 20 as Jay Happ has 20, and Chris Tillman. Hit him. Fastball cutting inside and glanced off the left leg of Guyer, so he trots down to first. Puts runners at the corners for Abraham Almonte.
Guyer's not afraid to get hit by a pitch. That's the 26th time he's been hit by a pitch. That's the most in the major leagues. There's guys that go 3 or 4 years without getting hit by a pitch. He's been hit 26 times. And you can see why. He's not even lifted. Most people will be jumping up off the ground. He plants his foot, stands right there, grits his teeth, and just lets it hit him in the leg.
Takes it right off the shin.
Must be made out. It must be made out of steel.
No kidding.
I mean, I could see taking a slow curveball off the shoulder or something, but you take a 92-mile-an-hour fastball off the shin without even trying to get out of the way.
Man,
I never wanted to get on base quite that bad.
No. Think that. Not only is that going to leave a mark, you'd be screaming. I'd be screaming.
Yeah, I fear guys yell before the ball even hits them.
Oh. Now 2 on with 2 out. Almonte had a double his last time up. Didn't get a fastball on the first pitch here. Took the change up low for ball 1. Almonte in the 4th inning got a first pitch fastball and cranked it into the gap in left center field. It's out in front of that changeup too. 1 ball and 1 strike. Almonte a .269 average. Another switch hitter for the Indians. The Indians have 5 switch hitters on their ball club. Left center field, long run for Desmond. You can't get there. It's by him and to the wall.
Boy,
Napoli scores. Around third is Geyer. He will score. Another double for Almonte, a 2-run double this time. It is 5-0 Cleveland.
That's about as much effort as you could possibly give to try to catch a ball. He was flying through the air parallel to the ground and gave it everything he had, just couldn't quite get to it. That ball looks like it was hooking a little bit toward left field. He missed it by a ways, but he knows the score of the game, and you have to make every effort to try to catch that ball.
No, Almonte's 2nd double of the night, his 13th for the year. He's driven in 3. He's out at second base now for Roberto Perez. Might have been a little misstep there just before he went into his dive. Perez tonight has singled and scored and struck out. Elvis can't get this one. It's into center field. Almonte around third will score. The RBI to Perez. It is 6-0. And that's going to be it for Martin Perez. He could not put the cap on it after getting the double play. A hit batter and 2 hits later. There are 3 runs on the board for the Indians. And Martin Perez night has come to a close. Well, Martin will leave on the short end of a 6-0 score. Dario Alvarez will be the new pitcher. We'll tell you all about him when we come back to Globe Life Park in Arlington right after this. Texas Chili Company. It's a 105 matinee game. It also features $10 tickets in the Lexus Club Terrace and upper level. That's courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and 105.3 The Fan. Be sure to wear your red out to the ballpark. Use the coupon code REDOUT at TexasRangers.com/specials. Dario Alvarez, just recalled today from AAA. His second stint with the Rangers, also was with the big club came up July 28th. First stint, worked in 2 ball games, gave up a couple of earned runs in an inning and 2/3. First pitch to Rajai Davis is popped into shallow right. Odor makes the catch, and that'll do it. So Alvarez comes in, throws 1 pitch, and the inning comes to a close. But the Indians add 3 more runs on 4 hits. They leave 1. After 5.5, 6-0 Cleveland. It's time for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $600 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Melinda Havren from Arlington will win $600. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Melinda is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now, Carlos Beltran to begin things for the Rangers here in our Sonic Slam Inning. Carlos 0 for 2 with a fly ball and a strikeout. 0-1. Corey Kluber out there now with a 6-0 lead to protect. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beltran not only trying to get a board, trying to snap an 0 for 30 that he is mired in. 2-1. Beltran, a 9-time All-Star. 8 of those in the National League. Got the nod this year in the American League for the first time as a member of the Yankees. Corey Kluber with his next pitch will be at 100 for the evening. Still 2-2. Kluber's only had 1 1-2-3 inning. That was last inning. Retired the Rangers in order in the 5th. Rangers have had their leadoff man aboard in every inning but that one. Still haven't been able to push anything across. Another foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inning by inning for Kluber tonight. Rangers have worked him pretty well. At, 3rd inning, the only time that he approached a fairly simple inning pitch-wise. Got him swinging here. Beltran becomes the 5th strikeout victim for Kluber.
Those games like the opposite of last night. The Indians have their ace on the mound, and he's putting up zeros. The Indians had scored a bunch of runs. Boy, Kluber is, you can see why he's been dominating since the All-Star break. Movement on his fastball, command of his pitches, the hard breaking ball, where he's throwing it.
Yep.
This guy's tough.
Now 1 gone. Here's Beltre, who has walked both times that he has faced Kluber. He hits a high drive to left. Ryder is watching this one go. Goodbye.
Man, that's off the restaurant.
Adrian said, "I'll have no more walks. I want to swing the bat." 23rd home run of the year for Beltre. It's a 6-1 Cleveland lead.
That's one of the longer ones Adrian's hit. That ball jumped out of here. Went all the way past the seats. Couldn't tell exactly how high it hit up, but definitely got to the walkway behind the seats, it looked like.
And Melinda Havren from Arlington as a Sonic winner with us, $600 tonight. Congratulations, Melinda. Yeah, congratulations, Adrian. That is career home run number 436. And he has caught Miguel Cabrera for 44th on the all-time list. See Kluber's reaction? All Kluber did, he put his head down faster than Adrian put his head down.
Yeah, that's sometimes you hope and you wonder. This one there was no hope and no wonder. Let's see where it did land. Oh, off the window, off the windowsill.
Somebody almost had a ball in their soup. Oh, Adrian Beltre gets the Rangers on the board. And now Rougned Odor trying to do more. Bam. That is one of the longer ones we've seen.
Adrian's hit some pretty good shots to center field, but I don't know if he ever had more distance than that. There's that pitch again. I don't know how you hit that thing. Coming in at 92 miles an hour. It's inside, and then about halfway to the plate, it starts going back toward the plate.
That's pretty good carry for 101.5 miles an hour. A lot of backspin to it. No, 2 gone, both on strikeouts. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy had a single in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th. As we mentioned, Adrian catching Miguel Cabrera. They are both now just 2 behind the Hawk, Andre Dawson. I thought Adrian was the one that hit it. You would think Elvis hit it the way he's talking. Huh? That's his birthday. I won't get on him. Three and 0 the count to Lucroy. Kluber now with his 112th pitch of the night. 3 and 2. Lucroy trying to extend this 6th inning. Mitch Moreland is hoping for a shot at Kluber. Call strike 3, and Lucroy knew it. Caught him looking for something else on 3-2. Kluber ends up striking out the side, but Adrian Beltre turned around one of those Kluber fastballs. His 23rd home run of the year. Rangers get on the board. We'll go to the 7th. It's now the Indians 6 and the Rangers 1. Tonight's Ford game summary. The all Indians early was Abraham Almonte in the 4th inning with an RBI double. First of 2 RBI hits for Almonte. There's the second one. He and Desmond just came up a little bit short, and then drove in a pair. They made it 6-0. And Adrian Beltre, we are not going to be shut out tonight. Off the windows of the Jack Daniels Club. Adrian's 23rd home run of the year. Sum total of our scoring tonight. Beltre now 23 home runs, 84 RBI. Continuing to be a marvel. Dario Alvarez working to Jason Kipnis here in the 7th inning. Alvarez came on to get the final out of the 6th by getting Rajai Davis to pop up. Breaking ball to the inside corner. Kipnis tonight has had an RBI double in 3 trips. 284 average. Broken bat looper behind Moreland and into shallow right. Not much that Odor can do. Alvarez trying to get over there to cover the bag. Kipnis aboard with about 150-foot flare.
Now that'll make anyone smile. You're feeling pretty fortunate if you get a hit on that ball. That ball is hit right over first base, and the second baseman gets to it. Can't be hit too hard. That would have been one of the all-timers if you get thrown out of first base on that play.
That would have, you're right.
Kipnis can run, so it wasn't going to happen with him.
No, Kipnis with his 2nd hit of the night. Another leadoff man aboard for the Indians. And here's Francisco Lindor. Lindor 0 for 3 tonight. 3 fly balls, 2 to center, 1 to right. Indians now 6 runs on 11 hits this evening. Rangers 1 run on 5 hits. One and 1 to Lindor. That gets by and going to the backstop. Down to 2nd goes Kipnis. wild pitch. Advancing Kipnis. Right down at the shoe tops. Two balls and a strike. Out of play. Lindor with a count even to him. Facing Dario Alvarez. You remember Alvarez came over from the Atlanta Braves along with Lucas Harrell back in the latter stages of July. Fly ball to right field. Mazzara has this one measured. Tagging at second is Kipnis. He is moving on to third. The throw is cut off. So one out, but Kipnis now 90 feet away from home for Mike Napoli.
First baseman Mike Napoli.
Napoli 2 for 3 tonight. A pair of singles. He has scored twice. Both of his singles came when he was leading off an inning. One in the fourth, one in the sixth. Those triggered multi-run innings for the Tribe. Rangers with one out, pulling the infield all the way in. Oh, and 1. Napoli this season with runners in scoring position, a .277 average. You get a good look at the Ranger defense. One and one. Alvarez made a couple of relief appearances for the Rangers before he was optioned to AAA when Shin-Soo Choo came back off the disabled list. Dario pitched against Kansas City the last couple of days of July, and then faced Baltimore in relief the 2nd of August. In total, he gave up 5 hits in an inning and 2/3 and 2 earned runs. Trying to prevent any further damage in this ball game. Rangers trailing 6-1. Mike Napoli trying to extend the lead for Cleveland. Right center field hit pretty well. Mazzara has a play on it. Kipnis tagging. He would just trot down the line to score. And Napoli with a sacrifice fly makes it a 7-1 Cleveland lead. Napoli driving in his 88th run of the year. Well, the wild pitch comes back to cost the Rangers a run. And Carlos Santana now will come up with the bases empty and 2 out. Santana 2 for 3. Single and a double. Also has struck out tonight. Dario Alvarez came in relief for Martin Perez, and Perez worked 5 2/3 tonight. Gave up 6 runs, all of them earned on 10 hits. Did not walk anybody and struck out 2. Three balls and no strikes. Three and one now. Santana, the 5th place hitter, trying to extend this 7th inning. Jose Ramirez will follow. play, and that fills the count. Well, a nice crowd on hand on this Friday night, Globe Life Park. I guess you always wonder the first Friday night you have after school's back in session, and Friday night football starting, and you wonder about how the crowds will turn out. A good crowd has turned out tonight at Globe Life Park. Pretty good series. The two top teams in the American League. Base hit to right field for Santana, his third hit of the night.
Third baseman Jose Ramirez.
A one on with two out for Jose Ramirez. Jeff Banish's club tonight has struggled a bit. They've had their hands full facing Corey Kluber. Indians, judging by the way Santana swung the bat in that at bat, have not struggled offensively tonight. 1 ball and no strikes. Jose Ramirez a single in 3 trips.
I guess it shows you how well Cole Hamels pitched last night when you're facing the team that scored the second most runs in the league. And then you see how they swing the bats tonight. Of course, they didn't swing the bats very well in Oakland. They scored 1 run in each one of those games. Well, they only had 3 runs in 4 games coming into tonight's game.
They've more than doubled that now, so it's.
Yeah, they've had a good night tonight.
Yep. Two and 0 the count to Ramirez. Now 2-1.
Yeah, their night has been so good. Roberto Perez, the catcher, is 2 for 3 with an RBI. He was 8 for 77 coming into this game.
Alvarez a check of first. And another foul ball wafted down the right side. Ramirez reached on a 2-out single back in the 2nd inning. Had an RBI on a ground out in the 4th. Last time up in the 6th, ran it into a double play. Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count.
You look at the way that Ramirez is kind of coming into his own this year. He's only 23 or 24 years old. He's never had a season in the big leagues or the minor leagues where he's hit double digits in home runs. He's got 10 this year. He only hit 13 home runs in his whole minor league career.
Got him swinging
here.
Hit
that one though.
Alvarez gets the strikeout. Indians are done. They do get a run on 2 hits and leave 1. We'll take the stretch in Arlington with the Indians leading the Rangers 7-1. Now let's join Chuck Morgan as he introduces God Bless America.
Will you please rise? And now in honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed at home and around the world, we invite everyone in Globe Life Park to join in singing God Bless America.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Albert Pujols got his 100th RBI of the season last night, one of 5 players in Major League history with 13 or more seasons of 100-plus RBI. Alex Rodriguez, Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, and Lou Gehrig. That's pretty good company. Matt Moore almost had a no-no against the Dodgers last night for the Giants. His first game in San Francisco. Went 8 2/3 before Corey Seager flooped a base hit to right field to break it up.
I went home and watched the last part of that game, and you could see Bruce Bochy and Dave Righetti pacing in the dugout. He had about 100, I'm not sure, 130, 134 pitches, something like that. And they were kind of sweating it out. But they let him go. They were going to let him go. I don't know how many pitches they would have let him throw, but probably up to 140. What a shame. Get all that way and hit a little blooper into the outfield for a hit.
Brian Shaw has come out of the bullpen for the Tribe to take over. Corey Kluber went the first 6, gave up a run on 5 hits. The home run from Adrian Beltre, the only damage to Kluber. Shaw now on relief to start the 7th inning, pitching to Mitch Moreland. Shaw, a 28-year-old out of Northern California. Shaw, the last 3 years. There you see his yearly numbers this year. 59th appearance, 236 opponent's average. Shaw has thrown 70, 80, and 74 games for the Indians. So he has been out there on an every other day basis the whole year. Three and 2 to Mitch. Moreland 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a fly ball to right. Got him swinging. Oh, Moreland down to start the 7th inning. Next will be Carlos Gomez. And as Carlos is stepping to the plate, let's send it over to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Dana, thank you. That's a pretty good start. He's setting the bar awfully high.
Yeah, the Yankees are kind of transforming their team. They're trying to get younger, and they made a bunch of trades for younger players that they can develop. I'm sure Joe Girardi's happy about that. They're managing a veteran team that wasn't going anywhere. Got some good young players now.
Yeah.
A bunch of them in the minor leagues coming along. Don't think Sanchez is going to keep this pace up, but it's nice while it's happening anyway.
1-1 to Gomez. Now 1-2.
Shaw's got a good arm. Fastball was 95. Pitch that struck out Mitch looked like it had a little cutting action to it at 93 or so miles an hour.
Got that funky kind of delivery too. I would imagine it's pretty tough to pick up.
Yeah, it gets on you.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Gomez, a fly ball to center and a ground ball to second. Shaw comes set. Another 1-2 pitch. Second straight strikeout. 2 gone. Elvis Andrus coming up.
The last 6 outs have been strikeouts. The only thing that's spoiled the streak is Adrian's long home run.
Yeah, last out of the 5th, all 3 outs in the 6th, 2 outs here in the 7th. Well, Elvis 0 for 2 tonight, and that might make headlines. 0 for 2 against the Clevelands. He has had a hit in all but 2 of the games he's played against him in his career. This is game number 55. .295 average for the Rangers shortstop. Ramirez right at the bag. Very quick and easy 1-2-3 inning for Brian Shaw. Rangers gone. We are going to the 8th at Globe Life Park. It's the Indians 7 and the Rangers 1.
Tom, time for the Progressive Fan of the Game. Hey, it's Star Wars weekend. We might as well kick it off. We got Victor and Marissa. They're brother sister, believe it or not, from Allen. And Victor, you are who?
I am Kylo Ren.
All right, very nice. Marissa?
I am Ray.
There you go. Tom Grieve knows all about these characters. Well, congratulations. Here's the bag. You guys did a great job dressing up today. Victor, like to reveal your identity.
It is very hot in there.
Yeah, very hot. Okay, okay, there we go. Cool off. Marissa, anything you'd like to say?
Go Rangers!
I like that. All right, congratulations. Way to go, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Doxy. That's a pretty honest assessment. It's pretty hot in there. Dario Alvarez leading. Did he hit him again? Yes, he did.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Geyer got hit
27 times.
No, Geyer slowly walking down to first.
Right fielder Abraham Almonte.
Right on top of that left foot.
He just plants his foot and lets it hit him twice. Did not even flinch. Boy, I guess if it's in a close game and you don't want to give up a base runner, you got to think twice before you throw him in.
Yeah, yeah. Geyer, 27 hit by pitch. Adam Eaton, the next closest with 13.
Remember, was it Ron Hunt?
Yeah.
He got hit, I don't know how many times, 70 times in a year, something
50,
something ridiculous.
53, I think
was
it was. Yeah.
He got hit so much he used to wear padding underneath his uniform.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there was remember there's a big celebration when Don Baylor broke his all-time hit by pitch record. Why in the world Don Baylor, why did he want to pitch inside of Baylor anyway in the first place? I'm not sure, but Baylor ended up breaking Ron Hunt's all-time record.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But as big as Don was, I mean, you just sit there and take it, it wouldn't faze him, you know. 2-1 is the count. And Almonte takes inside, 3 balls and a strike. Dario Alvarez, after giving up the free base to Geyer, having a little trouble throwing strikes to Almonte. Almonte tonight 2 for 3. A pair of run-scoring doubles. He has driven in 3 runs tonight. Now with 12 for the season. And he's got another base hit. Stopping at second, Geyer. Well, Almonte, a 3-hit night to go along with the 3-hit night of Carlos Santana. And Doug Brocail going to trot out to the mound and slow things down a little bit for Dario Alvarez. Keone Kela loosening in the Ranger bullpen. And that conference concluded. Keone getting in a couple of extra warm-up tosses out there. 2 on, nobody out for Roberto Perez. Perez 2 for 3. He has singled 2 times. He has scored once and driven in 1. Back door with a breaking ball. 0-1. Little check swing tapper on the first baseline. It's going to stay fair, and there's nothing that Alvarez can do with it after picking it up. A 3-hit night for Roberto Perez.
They had 8 hits for the whole season. He's got 3 tonight. He scored from first base on a double, and now he beats out a little infield hit. There's no angle. Dario just couldn't throw that ball without risking hitting the runner.
Yeah, he's running inside the line. You got to go ahead and throw it and hit him in the back. Right there.
Yeah, he could have.
But it's easy to say that in hindsight after it's happened. Just not accustomed to trying to hit a guy running on the baseline. Well, that's going to do it for Dario Alvarez. He'll leave with the bases full, nobody out. Keone Kela coming in. We'll take a timeout. We're back to Globe Life Park right after this. One live streaming sports service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.tv for details. Going to their app right there. Keone Kela, the 23-year-old right-hander, now on with the bases full of Indians, facing Rajai Davis with nobody out here in the 8th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Davis 0 for 4 this evening. Popped out, flied out, grounded out, and fouled out. Kela's 1-1 pitch. 96, some cheese on it. 1-2. Keone back on the hill the first time since last Saturday. Had a rough 2/3 of an inning outing at Tampa Bay. Gave up 4 runs with 3 hits. That fastball inside clipped him, and that's going to force in a run. Davis behind in the count gets hit on a 1-2 pitch.
Boy, he'll take that down in the count to a guy throwing 97 miles an hour.
The hit by pitch forces in a run, makes it 8-1 Cleveland. Rajai Davis, his 42nd RBI of the year.
Well, Raiders having a hard time getting it out so far this inning. A couple of hit by pitches. Little dribbler in the infield.
Jason Kipnis now. A 2-for-4 night. 1 ball, no strikes to him. Kipnis has singled and doubled. He has driven in a run. He has scored a run. Almonte, Perez, and Davis, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan Rua has entered the ball game to take over at first base for Mitch Moreland. Yella back to Kipnis. Popped up. Beltre running out of room right at the railing, reaches in and pulls it out. Very good job, fans down there, letting Beltre go ahead and reach in to snare that one backhanded.
Yeah, Kipnis was hoping the fans were getting away of that ball. Yeah, I don't know if they got out of the way, Buzz. They just fanned on it.
That could be too. Well, one guy hit it.
The one guy might have made some contact.
No, that is out number 1.
That's why he's got a uniform and you don't.
Francisco Lindor 0-for-4 tonight with 4 flyouts.
It's pretty amazing with all those hands going up, and they can't touch the ball. Every one of those guys is trying to catch that ball.
Well, Adrian's got that ball magnet in the middle of his glove. That has something to do with it.
Yep.
That's off the glove of Lucroy all the way to the backstop. Almonte scores. Everybody else advances 90 feet. It is 9-1 Cleveland. It's going to be scored a wild pitch. That's part of that's a lack of familiarity, I think, that Jonathan Lucroy with his pitching staff just doesn't realize the late movement on some of these guys. It's tough on a catcher. Now, it's one thing. It's fine to know what they throw, but what it looks like on different nights is just as critical as what the guy throws. One and 2 the count. Got him swinging. A strikeout of Lindor. 2 gone now, and Mike Napoli coming up.
First baseman Mike Napoli.
Napoli is 2 for 3 with a sacrifice fly this evening. Pair of singles. He has scored twice. Sacrifice fly plated his 88th RBI of the year. And to save time, they're going to go ahead and start the count at 3-2. When Knapp was with the Rangers, it was kind of a running joke that cut down a lot of the extra time in a ball game. Napoli, it would seem like 3 out of 4 at bats he would go to 3-1, 3-2, just automatically. Still leading the major leagues in number of pitches seen per at bat. Over 4.5, 4.6 at last tally. Some high heat, 1 and 2. Now Keller ready. We'll try the 1-2 pitch again. The Indians 9 runs on 14 hits tonight. Rangers 1 run on 5 hits. Nearly a complete reversal from last night. Rangers shutting out the Indians on 2 hits last night. Another foul. Looking forward to tomorrow night. A.J. Griffin gets the start for the Rangers. Carlos Carrasco will be on the hill for the Tribe. Griffin coming in at 5-3. Carrasco at 9-6, but a good ERA at 3.12. Elvis to the backhand, able to straighten up and throw out Napoli. That'll do it, but Indians add on 2 more. They leave 2, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Indians 9, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Eighth inning heroics if they're going to overcome a 9-1 deficit to the Cleveland Indians. This the second of 4 between these two teams. Game 3 will take place here tomorrow night at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Same time here on Fox Sports Southwest. We get things going with the pregame show at 6:30, and things won't get any easier on the hill. Carlos Carrasco going for the Tribe, and he has a Major League Baseball leading 1.74 ERA on the road. Ian Desmond and the boys will look to inflate that number just a little bit tomorrow. 6:30 pregame show here on Fox Sports Southwest. A big thanks to the fine folks at AT&T High-Speed Internet for getting us ready for Game 3 of 4 between Cleveland and Texas, guys.
All right, Em, thank you very much. Well, Cody Allen has come out of the bullpen now to take over for the Indians. Allen will face the top of the Ranger order, and Nomar Mazara looks at strike 1. Cody Allen, another one of those hard-throwing relievers that the Indians can run out there. His 53rd game of the year. 24 out of 27 and saved. And now that Andrew Miller has joined the Tribe and he has taken over the closer's role. Cody Allen, the setup guy for Miller, if you will. Michael Martinez has entered the ballgame to take over at second base. And Lonnie Chisenhall is now playing first. So a new right side of the infield for Indians. Slow tapper back to Cody Allen. One gone. No, Nomar is 2 for 4 now after that tap out. Brings up Ian Desmond, and he's going to be replaced. Looks like by Delino DeShields. Delino going to get his bat and some reps in the outfield. No, Delino stepping to the plate, hitting at .229 for the year. Desmond finished the night 0 for 3. Delino 4 home runs, 11 driven in. Two and 0.
Alex Claudio getting loose down in the bullpen. Probably see Alex for the ninth.
Two and 1 after the foul ball. Well, Jeff Bannister talked about it a little bit today about Rangers in pretty good shape in the bullpen now, and you could say the same thing after tonight. You've only had to use with Alex Claudio 2 relievers this evening. Only had to use 1 for 1 inning last night behind Cole Hamels. So even though you're getting kind of thumped here this evening, the bullpen's still in pretty good shape, and that's going to be very important going down the last 33 games of the season. Bullpen getting back into better shape rest-wise. At the tail end of the pen, this is the first time we had seen Keone Kela out there in almost a week. He's getting some much-needed rest. Another foul by Delino. Allen back to the plate.
Boy, he's had some healthy swings.
Yeah, he sure has.
Got some good pitches to hit. A lot of those pitches are right in the middle of the plate, and he's taking good swings. Just hadn't quite connected on one yet.
Last start he had down in Tampa Bay, he put pretty good thump on one too. Hit it out of the ballpark. Another 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging.
You saw Shaw pitch the 7th inning. He has a great arm. Fastballs in the mid-90s, 96. And Cody Allen, the same thing. Take those two guys, combine them with Andrew Miller now, and the Indians have a good power end of the bullpen. 7th, 8th, and 9th guys too. I think it's very rare now where the good team doesn't have those kind of guys at the end of the bullpen, though. Andrew Miller really rounds out that bullpen for them, though. They tried hard to get Jonathan Lucroy. Didn't work out for them, and to the benefit of the Rangers, he would have fit in very nicely with the Indians.
1 ball, 1 strike. If you talk to the Cleveland folks, they had Jonathan Lucroy until he said no.
Yeah. The Brewers agreed to it.
Yep. That pitch bounces in to home plate. It's 2 balls and a strike to Carlos Beltran. Beltran facing the hard-throwing Cody Allen. Carlos 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Popped up into left field. Geyer Waiting for it to come down out of the night sky, and that will do it. So 3 up, 3 down. Rangers now have had 8 straight retired by the Indians. We're going to the 9th inning at Globe Life Park, where the Indians lead the Rangers 9-1.
Wrong end of a 9-1 score right now as we head to the top of the 9th. Dana Larson here reminding you we've got Rangers Live, the post-game edition, coming up right after the game. We will look at Adrian Beltre, the reason the Rangers have a run tonight as he continues to climb the home run charts. Also, Mark McLemore examining Martin Perez's outing tonight, and it was a home start the likes of which we have not seen yet this season. We'll hear from the manager, Jeff Bannister, and set up A.J. Griffin going tomorrow for the Rangers in Game 3. That's all coming up right after the game. Buzz and Tom, we'll see you then.
All right, Dana, thank you. Well, Alex Claudio has come out to pitch the 9th inning for the Rangers. Alex, 27th appearance of the year, 2.39 ERA and almost 38 innings of work. He walked just 7 and struck out 25. And Alex will be dealing to Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez, and Brandon Guyer. Got some other defensive changes. We'll catch you up with those momentarily. Carlos Santana, a 3-hit night. He is 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. And in left field, now taking over Delino DeShields, came on to pinch hit. And moving from left to center is Carlos Gomez. Jurickson Profar enters the ballgame to take over at third for Adrian Beltre. And Robinson Chirinos back behind the plate, catching for Alex Claudio. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nine runs on 14 hits tonight for the Indians. 1 run on 5 hits for the Rangers. Neither club has committed a miscue, at least of the registered kind. Santana, batting average now creeping back up toward the 250 mark. But an 820 OPS, pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's never been a guy that hit for average, but he's a guy that's always walked a lot. He's had years where he's walked 90 or 100 times, which always gives him pretty good on-base percentage. Switch hitter's got some power. I've had him in the leadoff spot a number of times.
Yeah,
because of that on-base percentage potential.
Now, he is by no means your prototypical leadoff man,
no.
But if he's getting on base, that's all you ask of him. And he draws the walk here to lead off the 9th inning. Bring up Jose Ramirez. That's the first walk issued by a Ranger pitcher tonight. Jose Ramirez is 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 this evening. He has grounded out twice, struck out. Zach McAllister, we saw in last night's ball game, getting ready in the Indians bullpen. .87 miles an hour. Alex tuning that one up. It's about the upper extent of his velocity range. Oh, and 2 to Ramirez. Changeup poked into left field for a base hit.
That guy can hit, boy.
Yes, he can.
First time he saw that changeup, he waited on it like he knew it was coming. First time he had one to swing at.
Jose Ramirez with his second hit of the night.
Keeps his hands back, and even though he lunged a little bit, he was right on that ball.
So 2 on, nobody out. And Brandon Guyer, who twice has been hit by a pitch and has come in to score each time. He is 0 for 2, and he has scored 3 runs.
I pitch him away.
He came right back inside, I guess, figuring that the odds are against you getting hit a third time. Claudio back to him. Tied him up a little bit with that one. 0-2. Claudio's next pitch. To right field, a base hit just out of the reach of Rougned Odor, and the bases are full with nobody out. Now, one of those nights where
get it all out of the way in one night.
Exactly.
Jam it all into one. Wild pitches, hit by pitch, base hits.
Holes appear to be everywhere when the Indians are batting tonight. 16 base hits for Cleveland. For Guyer, that was his first base hit of the night. Abraham Almonte has gone 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a single. He has driven in 3. He has scored twice. 0-1 on the foul tip. So Almonte come into last night's ball game, and Lonnie Chisenhall had started in right field for the Indians the first game of this series, and Almonte came in the 6th inning, and then he got the start tonight. Down to the count here, no balls, 2 strikes. Alex Claudio, a 24-year-old out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Could entice Almonte into swinging at that. 1-2. Friday night crowd of almost 32,000 on hand here this evening. This is the second game of this 4-game series. Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, that pitch floats in just a little bit low, and it's 2-2. Now Claudio with the next pitch. Slowly hit Profar. The only play he has is to first. In to score is Santana. Everybody else advances 90 feet. It is 10-1 Cleveland. And there is 1 out now with runners at second and third. Oh, now Alex Claudio will face Roberto Perez, who is 3 for 4 tonight.
Yeah, the best hitter on their team this year has been Francisco Lindor, and he's 0 for 5 tonight. They've got 10 runs and 16 hits, and their best hitter is 0 for 5.
This game will make you scratch your head from time to time.
Well, you think the leadoff hitter would be the catalyst. He's 0 for 4. Did get hit by a pitch, though, with the bases loaded, so he's got an RBI.
2-0 the count to Perez. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. Now Rougned Odor in to grab the rosin bag, say something quickly to Alex Claudio. Now the left-hander set. Bumps in a strike. Now the 3-1. Up the middle into center field, a base hit. 2 more runs will score. Perez has a 4-hit night. It is now a 12-1 Indian lead.
Yeah, we mentioned this a couple of times tonight. Roberto Perez was 8 for 77 this year coming into this game. And he's got 4 hits and 3 RBIs. So he's had 8 hits on the year, 4 hits tonight. So he's had 12 on the year. 33% of them came tonight. So he has found some holes.
Scorcher up the middle, picked off nicely by Odor. Andrews turns it over. Well, that takes care of the Indians. The hardest ball hit turned into an inning-ending double play. 3 runs across. Rangers coming to bat. Bottom of the 9th, 12-1 Cleveland. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the final days of the Ford Freedom Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. The Rangers were definitely lacking the influence of the force tonight.
Force went with Cleveland tonight.
Have to pick it up tomorrow night.
They didn't know the Force was supposed to be with the home team.
Where is Yoda? Yoda, he left us. Oh, he fell down back there? That was the problem?
No, we knocked him down.
Zach McAllister on here, and the first pitch to Jurickson Profar shot right back through the middle. Well, Profar came in to take over for Adrian Beltre. It's the base hit to open up the 9th inning. Jurickson not wasting any time. One on, nobody out. Rougned Odor now will step to the plate. Odor 1 for 3. Had a 4th inning single. McAllister, the 4th pitcher used by Terry Francona tonight. This is outside for ball 1. Corey Kluber went the first 6 innings. Allowed the 1 run on Adrian Beltre's home run. 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Two and nothing. Ryan Shaw worked a 1-2-3 7th inning. Cody Allen a 1-2-3 8th. And now Zach McAllister. Two-0 pitch. 3 balls and no strikes. Odor getting in that fifth slot, trying to get aboard. Rangers need a bunch of base runners. Robinson Chirinos getting loose for his first at bat of the night. Two on, nobody out.
Catcher Robinson Chirinos.
So Odor and Profar aboard. Robinson Chirinos stepping to the plate. Robinson a 185 average, 8 home runs, 18 driven in. McAllister trying to zero in on the strike zone. And he throws one right down the middle. Chirinos in his last 14 ball games, just 4 for 36. That's a 111 mark. McAllister peering in for the sign. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Chirinos getting out of that slightly open stance. Two balls, 2 strikes. McAllister had similar trouble last night trying to locate the strike zone. Gave up a home run to Odor, then a walk and a base hit before finally zeroing in. Calls strike 3. Chirinos taking it, and he will walk back to the Ranger dugout. That's out number 1.
The first baseman, Ryan Rua.
Yeah, tough pitch.
Now Ryan Rua will face McAllister. Rua, 261 hitter, 7 home runs, 20 driven in. And Profar at second, Odor at first. McAllister with a breaking ball, and Rua was thinking fastball the whole way. 0-2. I mentioned last night, McAllister came up as a starter. He had been groomed in the minor leagues as a starter and just never got much traction with the Indians in that role. Converted last year and converted pretty spectacularly and ended up throwing 61 ball games out of the bullpen. A very valuable member of the Tribe middle and late game relief corps. One-two pitch to Rua. Call, strike 3.
No. 2 nasty strikeout pitches.
The center fielder, Carlos Gomez.
Hunter Robinson was a little higher than this. About the same position, though. Just barely close to that outside corner.
I would think with a guy like McAllister, the big, tall right-hander on the mound, you see a lot of elbows and kneecaps coming at you. Carlos Gomez for his 4th time to the plate. Front door breaking ball. Gomez tonight has struck out, grounded out, and flied out. 1 for 7 now in a Ranger uniform. McAllister getting ready to fire his 17th pitch of this 9th inning. Two and one. Gomez waiting as McAllister sets. 2-2.
Pretty consistent, Lance Barrett, on these last calls in this inning. There's been several of them just barely touching the outside corner. They've all been strikes. The one before that pitch was just a little bit farther outside. He called it a ball. So got pretty good eyeball late in the ball game. Be able to discern between those pitches.
He's been studying his pitch tracker. That's pretty close. Out of play, and we'll try the 2-2 again.
Yeah, based on his strike zone, that's a good one to swing at right there, because it probably would have been called a strike.
Our AT&T high-speed internet. Carlos Gomez, take you back to last night. His first at-bat in a Ranger uniform. Josh Tomlin, the victim of that blast from Carlos Gomez. Got him swinging. Well, McAllister ends up striking out the last 3 that he faces. Rangers get a hit and a walk, but strand a couple. And the Tribe have evened up this series at 1 game apiece. Tonight, the final 12-1. Cleveland out hit the Rangers 17-6. Corey Kluber gets the win. Martin Perez takes the loss. We'll be back with more right after this.